Hey guys, it's B, and I'm here with my December wrap-up. Read 5 books in the month of December. Let's talk about them. First up, I finished Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. Oh my goodness, you guys, I started this book earlier in the year, decided to stop maybe like 10% in the audiobook and save it for November, nonfiction November, of course. Wasn't able to finish it in November. It's so big, it's huge, super long, but so worth it. So worth it. I finished Hamilton, the book that's based on the play, earlier in the year. Super enjoyed that, and so I was like, okay, well, I can't just read this one and not get a better understanding of who this is based on. I went in not knowing too much about Hamilton other than he was one of the founding fathers of the States and he did some great stuff, like blah blah blah, whatever. But so much more than that. If you're a history buff, you have to get it. If you love nonfiction, you have to read it. You just like a good story where there's a lot of character development, then you still really should read this book. And whereas it's so tedious because it's so thick and densely packed with information, everything is so interesting, so you really don't get sick of the book. From his birth to his death, everything in between, Chernow did an excellent job at capturing the different facets of his personality. Him as the bastard son of a whore who was orphaned, migrated to the US, so he was an immigrant, one of the founding fathers of the States. So his political side, his personal issues that he had, like he obviously has some other issues, had issues with his dad and not being in contact with him. He super loved his wife, but on the flip side was a womanizer. And just how all of these things tie together. Just the sum of this man's life is absolutely amazing. Not even halfway through it, I was like, why don't we know more about this guy? Why don't we learn more about his story? And the many ways that he's contributed to politics as they are now, and the different rules and delegations and everything we have in place to this day. And it's just crazy that I totally think that like in school we should know so much more about him. Truly an amazing man. And this was such an interesting read. Seriously, give it a chance. If you have to like break it up, you can't read it straight through, it is definitely worth the struggle. So glad I stuck with it and wrote it out 5 stars. Next up, being the lover of creepy Christmas stories that I am, I read Santa's Claus by MJ Ware. Basically, it's a book of short stories. So there's a kid, Ryan, he's a troublemaker. He tries to sneak into Santa's sack, and the story goes from there and the surprises that are in store for naughty boy Ryan. And there are 2 bonus stories that come with this ebook. The next one was Recipe for Death. So creepy. There's a kid named Sam that learns a lesson about taking off the lunch lady. But common sense, like don't F with people that handle your food. I digress, back to the book. The second bonus story, it's a little preview of one of MJ Ware's other books, Super Zombie Juice Mega Bomb. Oh, this one, such a good little teaser, you guys. It's the story of 2 childhood friends, and basically their town is overrun with zombies, and it appears that they might be the last 2 surviving humans that haven't been turned in their fight for survival. Like middle school and like YA, I usually don't get along with, but this was so good, you guys. My only complaint with this was that the stories had no conclusion and I was left wanting for more, which I'm totally shocked that I'm even saying that, but they were really cute, good little creepy stories. And I really want to know what happens, and I'm still thinking about it like a couple of weeks after finishing it. But if you want like a quick little creepy Christmas read for next year or just anytime, definitely recommend this one. I gave it 4 stars. Then I read a book that I have wanted to read for the past couple of Christmases. Can't believe that I've never read it in all these years. Finally, I can scratch off A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens from my list. So I listened to the audiobook of this one. I enjoyed it very much. I am probably one of the last people on earth to read this so late in the game, but it was so good. So it's the story, of course, of Ebenezer Scrooge, a mean, greedy curmudgeon. It's the night before Christmas. He's visited by 3 ghosts. the ghosts of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future. So Christmas past runs him down memory lane of what a horrible, horrible human he is. Christmas present, his employees, his life, other people in the community, and just the state of society as it is in that present moment. And last, he is visited by the ghost of Christmas future, which shows him how things will be if he continues on the path that he's on. Da, 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 da. So will he remain the same? Will he change his ways? What happens? What happens? We all know what happens. But it was good. I give it 4 stars. Glad that I finally read it. Thumbs up. If you're like me and one of the last people on the face of the planet that hasn't read it, definitely do Christmas Carol. It's good, even though we know the story. We've seen various versions of the movie. We have seen the cartoon with Donald Duck and Goofy. Like, still, it's so good, you guys. Give it a chance. I liked it a lot. The next audiobook that I listened to was The Story of the Other Wise Men by Henry Van Dyke. We all know the story of the 3 wise men and their journey setting out to give gifts to the newborn king, who's Jesus. And this is the story of the other wise man that was supposed to be with them on the journey, but because of various circumstances was delayed. And the story is his struggle of still trying to make it in time to see the king be born and to present him with his gifts. The hardships that he endures while remaining this person that helps everyone in need along the way, and him being able to make it still to present his gifts to the king. It's a very good story. I'm so glad I just happened to randomly come across this on someone's Instagram. Loved it. It's one that I'll probably revisit every holiday season. So good. Definitely recommend it. I gave it 4 stars. The last book to finish off my 2016 reading year was Born a Crime and Other Childhood Stories from South Africa by Trevor Noah. Had no idea Trevor Noah had a book coming out, a book that was out. Just at Bub's holiday party, one of his coworkers was telling me what a good audiobook it was. So of course, I had to listen to it, and it was so perfect to end the year. Such a great book, you guys. And to hear it spoken in his voice with his accent on the various dialects, just his story is absolutely insane. Like, I knew the guy, I was happy that he got the job in The Daily Show, but I'm not like a huge fan of his. He's not really super on my radar, but now that's totally changed. He's born to a black mother and a white father, which during the time of apartheid is illegal, hence the title, Born a Crime. Just an awesome coming of age story of just all the various struggles and hardships that he went through, his identity, how he actually identified himself, and the various rules that were placed upon him that wanted to force him not to identify with the race that he identified with. Does that make sense? Is that crazy? Are you guys following me? Him and his mom, the hardships that they go through, the hardships that he goes through, coming of age in South Africa during apartheid, the political hardships and the civil unrest in the area, corruption of the government, the police force, the struggles between the classes and races, and not just white versus black, but minority against minority, various black groups against each other, and just the inner turmoil. That alone is interesting, sprinkled with all of the crazy-ish that he went through in childhood and his mom. You guys, this book is friggin' awesome. I'm so happy that it was recommended to me and that I gave it a listen. And I'm so happy it's the last book that I finished in 2016 because my reading year ended on a fantastic note because of this book. I give it 5 stars. Can't recommend it enough. It's definitely one of my top picks of 2016. Hearing it told in his voice, it gets no better than that. So good. Such an interesting story. I can't recommend it enough. That's it for what I read in December. It was a very good reading month. Audiobooks saved my life. So how'd you guys do last month? Did you keep it holiday themed, or was it just a mashup of stuff that you normally read during the year? And what was your favorite book that you read last month? Let me know below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video in my Rudolph onesie, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from my channel in the future, then please feel free to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.